Hi there, Trish Robichaud here from MS Relief, and I'm here with Dawn Silverstein, nutritional coach and wellness coach, and Dawn is here. We are doing another session on weight loss for wellness, which is my journey with weight loss, and so here we are. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Trish, how you doing?
I'm good. Had a good week.
You know, we're halfway through the 6-month program, and
Yeah, and so shall I give you a report on my 3-month goal?
yes, please.
My 3-month goal was to walk around the block with hubby and doggies.
Yes.
And, well, there was a little coaxing hubby involved. And then it was, how are we going to do this with the dogs? Neither one of them have ever been walked on a leash before.
Oh, see, now that's a question I never thought to ask. That's a small detail.
So we did it. We did it
Nice.
last weekend. Although I wouldn't say we walked together. I would say that Ernest walked with the dogs about 20 feet ahead of me. Because Dudley was like, yeah, let's go, come on, this is fun, let's do this. Yeah. Dudley and Travis both loved it, but Dudley needs a lot more work. So I think I'm just going to focus. We got it done, and we celebrated, and we did take a picture. I haven't
good.
Yet.
Okay, good.
I was supposed to bring my flip vid that day,
Right.
but Ernest was in anxiety level. It was there was just no way we were going to do that.
So it wasn't exactly the way you had pictured it. This like sort of romantic stroll with the dogs, and after the sun went down. Yeah. So really, you were all out of the house at the same time in the neighborhood. At nighttime, and you were walking. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so it was an altered experience, and we had discussed. But how was it? Was it still good?
Oh, it was just so nice to be able to do that.
Great.
As I had shared in a previous session, I had looked up my neighborhood on Google Earth.
Yes.
So I was able to see in advance that the trip around the block was going to be no longer than the trip to and from the park, which I've been doing.
Right.
So it just meant that I didn't have the park midway. I mean, I just walked past the park. I didn't stop there, right? And having the walker was awesome because I was able to stop and sit down and rest.
Great.
Which was, yeah, that was perfect.
Great.
And I've done it 3 times now.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Around the block.
Great.
Yeah, so that feels good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So now what I want to talk about is setting new goals, because the 6-month goal is for you to travel. So how are you feeling about that goal? Is that still something that's important to you?
Yes, absolutely. It's certainly going to be a question as to whether I can afford it to do
Right,
it.
and I understand that. Right.
And the other piece is I've actually put together a list of disability organizations in BC, and I'm going to see if I can land a speaking gig out there.
That would be terrific.
That way my flight will be covered. So that would
exactly.
Would be a deal.
Well, so that's part of the goals then, is to create that opportunity for yourself. Because what I want, just like we did before with the walking to the park, that happened in stages. You remember we talked about you just walking outside of your house down to the street. That was stage 1. So now we have to do the same thing for this bigger goal, is to break it down into chunks. Because for me to say to you, okay, great, book a flight for October, that's, we got to baby step our way up to that. So I do want there to be some concrete milestones that we're going to establish, and getting a speaking gig is one of them. And I would imagine, creating a budget of sorts, just, like a little savings account specifically for this, so that even if it doesn't happen in October, it's still on your plate. It's still part of your goal.
Mhm.
I certainly wouldn't consider it an unreached goal if it doesn't happen in exactly 3 months from now, but I do want you to still work towards that.
Well, and certainly the goal right from the beginning was to be healthy enough to
Exactly.
do this trip.
Exactly.
So even if the trip doesn't happen till spring, that
Right.
doesn't prevent me from being healthy enough to do it in the fall.
Exactly. And
And
because
what
that
I have
really
looked
is,
at,
yes. Go ahead.
what I have actually booked, what I have booked is I have 2 speaking gigs booked in September, and
Oh,
one of them is a full day event, and
okay.
so that's the last week of September, and
Mm.
if I can do that event, a full day event, without having to pay for it for a week,
Mm-hmm.
then I will have achieved my level of health that I need for
Terrific.
the trip to be
All right, so that's
successful.
that'll be a really good barometer for us to
Yes.
see. Um, and how are you feeling about that today, as far as energy and recovery and weight? What are you thinking is
Um,
about that now?
my energy's getting better and better every day.
Great.
Previous to the weight loss, for all of the last, I want to say 10, 12, 15 years, Ernest has been doing the housework, he's been doing the
Mm.
laundry, he's been doing cooking.
Mm.
And in the last few weeks, I've been chipping in. I've been doing my own laundry. I've been,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
cleaning the kitchen every day. I've been, doing some meal prep. So yeah,
That's
clearly my
great.
energy is escalating because I'm just naturally gravitating to
Hmm.
um, getting things done. And there's little things around the house that have been piling up for ages that
Right.
I'm getting to, you know.
How is that affecting your relationship?
It's been positive, absolutely. Ernest is becoming more aware that, I'm chipping in, and that has helped. Not that his being the caregiver ever really compromised our relationship, but it certainly changes the dynamics of your relationship
Hmm.
when your spouse is the caregiver for you.
Sure.
And more things for myself, being more independent is, I'm sure that that positively impacts his sense of his to-do list, which is always way up here.
Right, because now
So,
his time is a little different too. He can spend his
yeah.
time a little differently. That's great.
Hmm.
That's now is that something that you foresaw as a benefit of beginning this journey?
Definitely. Are you asking me, is wanting to do housework, was that part of the
Yes.
goals up front? Oh,
No, no,
never.
no. Not part of the. No, never, never a goal. Never a goal.
Never.
But an
But
unexpected.
seriously, it's definitely unexpected. I didn't foresee
Yeah.
that my just feeling the higher level of energy is
Mm.
compelling me to do more. I
Hmm.
definitely didn't expect that, to be motivated to help out. No, I wasn't
That's
expecting it.
great.
But it's a huge blessing, definitely. But there's so many things, Dawn, that I'm um, doing now that I never expected to have energy for. Um,
Great.
and even though my energy is getting better, I would say I'm not working more hours. I'm probably working smarter.
Mm.
I,
Right.
I'm, I've been better with my pacing. I've been
Mm-hmm.
better with distributing my workload.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um,
So it sounds like
and
you're more balanced.
yes,
So
yeah,
you're, I mean,
definitely.
this goes back to how you do one thing is how you do everything. So
Hmm.
your food is more balanced, your appetite is more balanced, and it has spilled over into your work productivity. And your
Hmm.
energy is balanced. It balances itself out as a result
Hmm.
of the feeding yourself properly. So are those some dots that you had been connecting on your own anyway? Were you seeing how it all is connected?
The connection that I've been making, I didn't really make the connection to um, the improvement in my work habits. I didn't
Mm,
make that until now that you pointed that out. Um, but I have been noticing, I did connect the fact that I'm calmer.
mm,
I am more at peace. Um, yeah, I'm finding that the walk
mm,
is very meditational for me.
great.
It's grounding, and I actually, when I'm like midday and I'm like this deep in clients, and uh, I'm actually finding myself thinking about looking forward to the walk.
Great.
Yeah, like
Wow.
the
And that's
memory of
free,
it
you
not
know?
knowing and relating to it.
That's great.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
free.
exactly.
um, so
Nothing.
what so what do you want for yourself now moving forward? Because that's a lot of changes, and it would be perfectly normal to think, I'm good here. I'm okay here. I can stay here for a while, but I know that you have more goals for yourself. So what are you wanting for yourself now around whatever's coming up? I don't care. Food, not food.
It's it's going to be around increasing the weight loss to support minimizing my medications. So
Okay.
my
Okay.
next, I guess, so my next concrete goal is going to be around cutting my meds in half.
Okay. So
There's certain
what
meds
needs
that
to
I'm not going to be
happen?
able to eliminate.
Okay. So
There's
what
certain
needs to
meds I won't ever be able to
happen?
eliminate.
So which meds are you talking about then?
Okay. Um, I already got rid of my cholesterol medications.
Right.
That was the first
Huge.
one.
Right.
Now it's gone.
Right.
Um, I have been reducing my metformin. I used to
Great.
take two in the morning and two at night,
Mhm.
and I have bit for the last couple weeks. I've just been doing one in the morning and one at night,
Mhm.
and my blood are staying stable. This
Great.
morning, my blood sugar was 5.2, which
Great.
I know American terms that's something different altogether.
Okay.
But in Canada, normal is between 4 and 7.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been 5.2 two mornings in a row.
Great.
And yeah, so I'm really happy with that. In
Right.
fact, it's probably time for me to see my GP to have my diabetes blood work done
Mm.
again. So
Yes.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that my
Great.
commitment for this week. Um,
Okay, good.
Appointment with GP, free blood work.
Great. Yeah, because then you'll know really specifically um, what you're aiming for,
Yes.
numbers
And
wise.
I mean, and in reducing my metformin, that isn't anything that I'm encouraging anyone else to do
Of course not.
without
Nothing we
consultation
say
with my
here,
doctor.
you have to talk to your doctors exactly. You know, these are the benefits that you've seen from losing the weight and having a different mindset and a different approach to losing the weight. Everyone's different. You know, everyone's body chemistry is different. So, yeah, please,
Mm.
you know, if you're listening, this is not meant to say stop taking medication. They'd be very
Absolutely.
irresponsible. So what is
So
that going
my
to do
objective,
for you? Yeah, go ahead. Because what's so other
so
than that?
so finishing about the meds,
Mm-hmm.
I can see getting validation from my doctor that to leave
Mm,
my lower dosage of the metformin.
right.
Um, eventually, I'd love to get off, to have reduced my need, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
for my blood pressure medications.
Mm-hmm.
And None of my heart meds probably. I don't know. It is possible that
Mm.
I might eventually be able to
Okay.
reduce my beta blockers. I don't know. We'll see. That's
Okay.
certainly going to be up to my cardiologist, and I won't see
Sure.
him till the spring now.
Okay.
Yeah, anything, the blood pressure, and the diabetes medication. I think there's some huge potential there to change.
And what would that do for you if you were able to reduce those meds?
That would help my general overall well-being, cut down the stress on my liver from all the pharmaceuticals that I take. That
Yes.
would really help
Right.
my liver. Um, but it would also be a huge confidence boost to have reduced my weight enough to have gotten my diabetes completely under control without medication,
Right.
with just managing my
Right.
diabetes. That was
Right.
just so powerful.
Definitely.
Be able to do that. Yeah.
Now, do you ever do how's it going with the um, bullet, the NutriBullet? You still doing a shake
Yep, still doing,
with
yep,
kale or
still
whatever?
doing, yes, love the kale, yes.
Do you
Um,
do you do dandelion greens? Do you have that in your market?
I don't
Don't
know.
know, right? You might have to ask around. But
Yeah.
dandelion's very good for the liver. It supports the liver.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that could be a nice addition to just support, its function because it does work
Mm-hmm.
hard for you because you are on a number of medications. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so how's that going? Do you feel like the drinks are getting greener?
No. Um, I still still doing, small handful of kale.
Right, right.
Um, I would have liked to say that at this point I'm experimenting with, like, I did experiment with some celery and some carrots
Mm-hmm.
one day last week,
Okay, right.
and it would have been palatable if I wouldn't have put the celery in. The celery changed the
Oh,
flavor altogether for
okay,
me.
okay.
So I just still do have some learning to do with
You know what?
the
But the thing is, too, if it's working for you right now, there's nothing wrong with just sticking with what's working. And if you're feeling like you're ready to branch out a little bit, fine, throw blueberries in there or ginger. Spice it up a little bit. But are you making a yogurt smoothie or is it just
Yeah,
fruit?
most of the time it's a yogurt smoothie, yeah. So there's
All right.
protein in it.
Or the ginger might be a little weird with the yogurt. But if you do just like juice or water with that scoop of protein powder, it probably doesn't have much of a taste, right? The protein
No.
powder.
Well, my protein powder that I use the vanilla one.
Oh, okay.
So it
You
does have a
could.
vanilla flavor.
It does have a vanilla taste. All right. It's well, the book that you got with the NutriBullet has a bunch of recipes too. So if you're feeling adventurous, you could flip through there just for some ideas. Not necessarily to make it a full green drink, but
Mm.
just to mix it up a little bit. But look, it's working for you. What are you at now, weight wise? Because I know you had broken
Last
the
weekend
50.
last weekend I was 241.6.
Amazing. So close to
Mm-hmm.
the 230s.
I know, eh? Yeah,
How exciting
yeah.
is that?
I haven't been below oh God. I haven't been below 260 in at least 10 years, and I haven't been below 240 in 20 years, close to 20 years.
Really? How does that feel to be so close?
Um, Exciting. It's very
Yeah.
exciting. And what's even more exciting, and I'll blog about this with
Mm.
this video, um, from day one since I've been working with you,
Mm-hmm.
never once have I felt any sense of restriction. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
And that is completely foreign for the
Yeah.
weight loss experience. For
Yes.
me, anyway.
For most.
And that's,
Yeah.
it's very
Which is
powerful.
why, which is why we end up
Which is why it
gaining the
makes
weight
it
back.
sustainable, right?
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly,
exactly.
exactly. This isn't about punishment. This isn't about what you can't have. Whatever you were doing, it wasn't enough to have an effect on you, to have an effect on your energy, to have an effect on your mental state. It wasn't enough. So we gradually increased the exercise, and look what happened. It edged out the need for sugar in the same way. Because you have energy, you're not looking for false energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So to
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
how, you know, we're complicated
It's
beings.
it's almost like a displacement concept.
Absolutely.
So by introducing something new, whether that's something edible or whether that's an activity, by
Hmm.
introducing something new, I'm displacing the old and forcing it out.
Right. But it's a pleasurable experience because it's not, I can't have that thing anymore. You actually stopped even thinking about it. You didn't even want it because that
Mm-hmm.
need had been met. So, and the
Mm-hmm.
thing is with food, it's so available and it's there's such instant gratification that we tend to then get distracted and not satisfy that other need that really was calling for our attention. So,
Here is a
yes,
really good
I see your
illustration.
wheels turning.
My brain is, yeah, I see the tracking clicking from happening. Here is an awesome example of the transformation.
Hmm.
I was out a couple days ago, had to pick up something at the dollar store for the dogs, some treats. And while I was in there, I decided that Ernest needed a chocolate bar.
I see.
He's a major chocolateaholic, so I always make him
Uh-huh.
smile when I bring him a chocolate bar. Anyways,
Okay.
so as I was buying him a chocolate bar, and I picked up an Aero bar for him, and a green one, and a milk chocolate one, and a mint one. Okay,
Okay.
so
Hmm.
as I'm doing that, I noticed a Bounty chocolate bar sitting next to the
Oh.
Aero bars, and I love coconut. And I don't know about
Mm.
if you have Bounty in the States, but it's
I
a
we do,
very
and they're yummy.
heartfelt
Mm.
coconut. Okay. Anyways, and when I picked it up, I noticed it was actually three pieces inside the package. It
Okay.
was an extra large Bounty, so instead of having two inside, I had three inside, right?
Hmm.
So for a moment, though, I toyed with putting the extra large Bounty back and grabbing a regular size Bounty.
Right.
And then I thought, no, okay, this is fine. So I got it. When I got home, I opened it, and that's something different because usually I'd open it in the car
In
on
the
the way home.
car. Wow. Yes.
I didn't touch it until I got home. And when I got home, I ate the first piece,
Hmm.
and it was quite filling. And I just wrapped it and put it on the table. And that was a couple days ago. And yesterday I walked through and thought, that looks good. And I took a second piece, and the third piece is still sitting on the table, wrapped in the
That's.
packaging. So
And how is that
I
different
mean,
than it would have been 6 months ago? Would the whole thing have been gone in the car?
yeah, all three
Yeah.
pieces would have been gone before I drove the 2 blocks to get home.
Right. Right. So
Yeah,
would you say
and
that
I would have been hiding the wrapper, and I
exactly?
would have been hiding the wrapper
So
afterwards.
here's a
Yeah.
question for you. Do you feel like you are eating with more dignity?
Oh, wow. Eating with dignity, that's a concept. I never ever put those two words together in a sentence before.
Hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's nothing, if you're eating with dignity, then there's absolutely nothing to feel shameful about later.
Right. Exactly. It's nothing to hide.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
That's so. Just think about that one for a little bit when we're done. Just really
Mm,
let that settle because that is really a transformation on your part. That you did not scarf it down in the car and hide the wrapper. You don't need to do that anymore. There's no need to do that. You actually get to enjoy it in public, in front of other people. That's a really big deal.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah, imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And you know, I think the biggest difference, the difference feels like I'm in control instead of the food.
Great.
Like
That's
that,
great.
you know, that 3-part brownie bar sitting on the table and taking me 3 days to eat it. And it's still, you know, and there's still a piece there, you know?
Right.
But
You making a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, the bounty bar before, it would have been screaming at me.
Yeah.
Like it would have been really, really loud in my head. I know that
Right.
sounds silly, but
No, not
if,
at all.
you know, if there's, you know, if there's something in the fridge that is really attractive for me, that would be making so much noise, but food doesn't talk anymore. I've silenced the
You
food.
silenced it.
It's
Well,
cool.
I think this is a really good place to stop because that's a really powerful message that you just gave yourself about where you're at. And we know that your goal is to contact your doctor to get some blood work done.
Yeah.
And work on setting up those speaking engagements. And that's a lot. You know, you're on such an amazing path. I'm so excited for you.
It's been so much fun.
Good. Yeah, imagine that. That's the other thing. Like, you know, people think this has to be a painful process, and you're just like liberated. You are. You're just in a very different place than you were 3 or 4 months ago. And
Most
that's
definitely.
great. Yeah.
I was still 3 or 4 months ago. I was very much hostage to food.
Mm-hmm. Hostage to food and hostile. There was a hostility, not towards me, but just like a resentment about I have to do this again. And that's, you know, I said to you a few weeks ago, you're lighter. That's gone. So that has to be nice for everyone around you as well. I would imagine. Like, we should do an interview of the whole family, really. See, like, what do they all have to say? That'll be a follow-up. We'll do follow-up series. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're
All
good.
right? We are good.
I will talk to you next week.
Yes.
And thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome.
And that's it for today for this edition of Weight Loss for Wellness on Choose Joy TV, and we're brought to you by msrelief.com. Catch you next time.
Take care.